Oh, well, I'm back, but I should probably my sim. There we go. All right. So for today, um, we're back, and we are just gonna be doing probably not a long stream, but I really wanted to just use some character stuff because I am getting closer to starting up chapter 4 of my comic. And so I need to figure out some design stuff. So that's what I'm gonna do. The first thing I'm gonna do is just warm up with some pickles. So because I can't do anything easy, the character we're designing today is a machine, automaton. So that's gotta be fun. So we'll have to figure that out a bit. I have the design in mind, so I'm not starting from scratch, but I wanted to figure out some things. Particularly the things which will be interesting and fun. I'll say my circles aren't feeling great, but we'll get started anyway. I'll kind of learn as I go. Figure it out as I go. Okay. So the idea I have is kind of, we have the head, right? It's going to be connected like so. It's going to be kind of the basic shape, which character. Body, which is sort of this large orb kind of cut into. However, the arm come up right there. Oh, there, so. And I'm tempted to put like a boot. Some kind. What you see on car joints. This is how it has articulation. Or maybe like cloth or something. That would make sense as well. Which then I would be able to more like this and I hello, guilty. Hey, good on my promise. I'm back streaming. I don't know how long we're gonna go, but we'll see. I do have some things I want to figure out in this design. So hopefully I get them done. Right now I'm just kind of warming up by drawing the whole the body as a whole that I've done before. And I have been like not feeling it. Okay. And the big thing I want to figure out is how I'm going to do the inside. And what I'm thinking is, I really don't want to have it open because I don't want to have to draw all the insides a billion times. However, he's like decrepit and decaying. So, what I'm thinking is they have some kind of, let's figure out what the waist. Eh. there's like holes in this sort of fabric. Maybe even that. And at some point I may draw the insides. Maybe I'll design them just so I'm aware. Or they can be here for other. And then so for the arm, I want to do for the arm. Actually, let's work out. Are you the first person? It looks like Guilty just beat you. But you're the first person in my heart, Ashley. I do appreciate it, man. Good to see you as well, there, right? Right now, my mistake. I'm tired. I've been tired for a little too long. I actually need to reference something. Oh. Is right here. Okay. You said thank you. Much appreciated. Getting closer to 300, which is cool. Maybe one of these days, you know, there will be actual videos uploaded that you guys will be able to enjoy because you're subscribed. That would be nice. I've been so slow though. Let's see. Okay. All right, it's way more open. Okay. I'm actually going to grab this in fast and bring it over. Thank you very much there, man. I appreciate the sub. Give me just a second here, because I'll kind of be able to show a little bit more what I'm trying to. Where are you at? There you are. Let's do this. Might be an older image. But this will work. This is just referencing. So essentially what we're doing, so I obviously have the image, right? Or the main design, right? But there's things I want to figure out about. Every cipher is your catchphrase? Yeah, pretty much. Give me a like, I appreciate it. Ooh, the stuff and things. I don't know what it does, but it makes some Eldritch Overlord happy or something like that from everything I've heard. But yeah, so essentially, so this is like the first like kind of conceptual, and I do like that. I wonder if I could implement that more. That like rubber boot. Come on, there we go. Okay. Okay, so hey, Clay's fun. I really got into sculpting and stuff like that when I was in college. It was one of my classes. It was a lot of fun, and I think it's something you can learn a lot. Hello, house. I appreciate it. Looks kind of robotic, very robotic. You know, funny enough, Guilty, we were playing Age of Mythology the other night, and kind of the inspiration behind this guy is the automatons from the Atlanteans. That was one of the things going through my head when I designed this guy. Do I do this? Made you think of yesterday? Nice. No, this is gonna need. I want to do. I like them more like this is closed right now. I actually want to kind of make this open. I'll design that more. But for now, like it's kind of just a block of something. I'll need to figure out what the design is like. Also, like more of the like. I don't know if it's a good idea to do this because it's gonna be a nightmare. An OC, in a manner of speaking. It's funny, the term OC is always kind of like not necessarily a bad term in my head or anything like that, but it's a funny term to me because like the way I think of that term is like an original character in the context of another work, if that makes sense. But yes, it's a character that I've come up with and designed, and I'm working on for a comic. In fact, if you're interested, down below should be a link to the comic that I am working on. It's an original comic, and it's completely readable up to the point that like actually now like every page that is even being worked on is out. I haven't started chapter 4. The 3 chapters are available. I'll have to work on that. I'm trying to think of what. I don't much care for that. I want it to be a little bit more spaghetti. Not so much. I don't know yet. I'll have to figure that out. Yeah, I've been actually working on this comic for 4 years now. This actually cool idea. It's like a ring. Or ring mount. Just so I'm trying to think of kind of the logic behind him. Unfortunately, when you design a robot, it kind of needs to make sense to some degree. That's one of those things that really amazes me is like you have like people specifically who specialize in like design stuff like Gundam or Bottoms or different like whatever, right? And it's just like, man, like you need someone specifically designing that stuff because like it's so complicated. Let's try the boot again. The boot. I think yeah, I can keep it simple enough. That won't be a problem. And okay, so now and then this is kind of an element that I've had in my mind with their design for a very long time. And I won't say where it is, but these guys are actually hinted at really early on in the story. I think you can see them. At least like the kind of like secret implication of them. I'd be curious if anyone actually found where these guys are hinted at. This is big metal kind of semi-ring. I don't know if every single one. I think every single one of them has this. I'll have to design them as such, or draw them as such, which will be a little tricky. I'll need to put a little thought into like dimensions of this as well. I might go thinner on the boats, but this will give the idea at least for now. I'll need to also think of like how it's constructed, like in the center and whatnot. Yeah, this is gonna be fun to draw a million times. I'm tempted to model this part in particular, just to have a reference of it when I do start drawing it. What are we listening to tonight? This has been my like what I've been playing non-stop pretty much. This is from Form State. So this is actually a playlist. PS1 style atmospheric drum and bass, intelligent B&B, Emerald Paradise. I'll just link it as well, because why not? Highly recommend all their playlists. We might go through a couple of them, because it's super fun. Highly recommend the channel. Apparently they have another playlist coming out, so. So it's been really nice listening to this stuff. Okay, so I'll work on that. So essentially what I'm kind of doing, like in the back of my mind, what I'm kind of like coming up with is, okay, what do I need to kind of work on conceptually tonight? And so part of that is the finished design of this. Okay, now what I need to think, so it might just be a bunch of like wires underneath, because I'm gonna be kind of lazy with the design. Okay, so I need to figure out what the legs look like. How do the legs connect? Actually, that is something I wanna think about, like how the legs. How do the legs work? Hello, Jordan. Good to see you. So they will be covered up, but I want to understand from when I say they are. And they're kind of thin. Hmm. Hmm. What's up, Bun Bun? Good to see you here. I want the legs to work. Trying to think of like. Just try to throw something out. Not much care for that. A little too wide, honestly. Let me see. How do I have it set up? Okay, so the leg goes through here. Up into the rather vague, intentionally so. Are the joints done? Well, let's work on the arm real quick. Arm is a lot simpler. That's the wrong thing. Let's see. Okay. Arm. On this pivot here. Now I need to think, how do I want to do this one? Probably simpler's better. I kind of like the really thin piping. I think that looks really cool. Rusted. I do want it to be a little lower probably, although he could probably lift it that high. This probably goes back to some kind of like data feed. Thank you, Tasmanian. Also, thank you very much. Okay, so his arm splits because he actually has like essentially two hands in one. So let me see if I can figure out. People are liking liking what they're seeing here. They should check out the comic. Should be down in the description. If it doesn't work, let me know. I had an issue a few months back. Should be resolved now. But I had an issue a few months back where the link was giving a bad read, essentially. Google was complaining or something like that. Should be fixed now. Just over on. I'm not crazy about it just being two rods like this, but kind of like I'm kind of going with like space magic on this as well. Like kind of something that I want to get across is that like these don't purely work mechanically. There's something kind of going on as well, but it doesn't need mechanical sense. And the hand. Hand's another thing I'm gonna have to figure out. I'm gonna have to basically break this guy down one piece at a time. In fact, let's start with the hand. I want to figure the hand out. Okay, so I'm actually thinking it'll be like we'll have a instead of these like platforms. Thinking what we'll do is this will be kind of like a metal cover for both sides. It'll be allowed to move, so you can basically separate it out. Essentially, kind of like plate metal, and then the fingers. There's 3 per side. There's just actually. Share with a couple friends. I appreciate that. I'm trying to think of like really interesting like mechanisms because I sometimes I'll look into like where we're at with like prosthetic limbs. Yeah, I find that stuff really interesting. I'm trying to think if there's anything I've seen that I can but nothing. The kind of the big challenge of prosthesis is how do you make, especially for hands and stuff, is how do you make something biomimetic or mimicking biology in such a, you kind of have to like the scale, you know. I might just go with these like kind of skeletal fingers, but maybe I'll imply some kind of like pseudo tendon across the back. I don't know if that's a good idea because he's designed for combat is the only thing. So this would have to be, yeah, maybe it's still otherwise kind of serious. Actually, that raises a question though of whether like what he's made out of. That complicates his design, but I do. Is it a little loud? Does it sound like it's a little loud, perhaps? Because I can turn down the music. That helps. I'm also kind of mumbling to myself. I have a bad habit of just sort of mumbling. Appreciate their tapping. Do I want to do? I want to kill. Yeah, I think I want to keep. Well, I do really, I really like. how it's survived 400 years, you know, we won't worry about that part. How a thin piece of metal survived that long. That's okay. Not meant to be realistic, just meant. That's it. It does convolute the design, but man. The other question is, oh, and the thumb. And he has 2 thumbs. Like I said, he basically has 2 hands. Details. Yeah, no, trust me, give me like 4 months when I'm having to draw this guy over and over again. I'll be kicking myself. Yeah, I don't know if I can keep it because I can't do it on the thumb. I think, yeah, I think simplicity is. We're just gonna go with the thin metallic design. Plus, this will just read better. It gets really complicated otherwise. Now, the big question is, how do I I want him to have some kind of, yeah, piston. Okay. And we'll make him consistent in terms of size. And don't add too much, yeah. That's the problem with robots, man. Like you start drawing robots and automatons and things like that, you got to get clever about how you cover it up. He does. That's why he has like the skirting and stuff like that and even the shell and whatnot, and why I put like more cloth on and whatnot, which makes sense. Like it makes sense for him to have those things because you don't want just them exposed to the elements, right? You got to just be conscious about how you do that. In fact, that actually that's something that they did in Hat Labor. Particularly the show is they would wrap the like joints and stuff like that in cloth. That's how the design was. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's clever. Because now you don't have to sit there and draw that. That is your vision for the constraints of realism. Well, especially in this story. If you read this story, that is like a really big part of it, is the conditions of the world. Like you don't really know, not that you don't know what reality is. I mean, that kind of is a factor, but like more that like doubles. It's more just like there's all these iterations of technology and mysticism and things that have come and gone, that everything kind of seems merged in. And I'm gonna miss drawing the Fisher's character in the 3rd chapter. You'll see him when you get. He was a fun character though. He was really fun to. What am I drawing? I'm drawing a robot dude. Really ancient robot dude. Like kind of cover. So I have the script written for chapter 4. Fun. Well, okay, for the first 10 pages. So I will be starting on drawing chapter 4, hopefully sooner than later. I really need to get this figured out, his design like really like locked down before I begin, because I'm going to be drawing this guy a lot that chapter. Up closed box. Yeah. Ball joint type thing. Okay, that gives me a better idea of what his hand looks like. Funny, I've never had to do this for a character really. But as the comic has gone on, I've been getting a lot more like detailed, a lot intensive with the final design. Okay. All right. So that gives me a good idea of the arm there. I think we can just keep this relatively simple. There is some kind of like ball joints you can arm up and down. Maybe you can only up and down. Oh, no, yeah. Yeah, maybe. Maybe it is. Oh, moves it from the shoulder. It would limit his range, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. It would feel more robotic. Yeah, we'll probably do that. Okay, let's go ahead. Okay, let's go back to the leg. So we're looking at this covered up, but we want to thinking. Okay, we're thinking of like hip joint, a hip joint. You have the pelvis, right, and then that's has a opening, a socket where the hip fits into. And I kind of want to do something like that, a ball and socket joint. kind of, I'm trying to think of like the metal parts as the bones and cloth as some kind of pelvis. And I'm trying to think. I want it to be kind of low pro. Pelvises aren't low pro. Quite large bones. Yeah. Hold on. What about socket? Headed. Pelvis. Average. Controls. That gives enough of a wow, my alignment is really messy. But I get the idea. Kind of like that. That's the case. Then what we can do is we can start thinking. So we have kind of band across the front. And then cloth peels out from under. This joint. And I'm becoming cash, which I have been doing. Might need. He's built like a spring. His legs are built like a. In fact, his legs are based off of what we do have for athletic running legs. First fold. This piston. This like a similar to a leaf. I also wonder if I should. Let me think about that design legs in a different. Say he has one leg up this. That leg's left. Down. This leg or this leg. Do I need him to have any more articulation? Thanks. That's basically how far his leg. You got to remember his whole purpose, whole design. He doesn't need to exist in the. He just needs to stand there. Which, you know, having these thin little leaf spring feet, yeah, we're gonna ignore that. But point being, I think that's. I do want him to feel limited. I want him to feel not like you know. There's a lot of like in movies that's like, oh, this person has a prosthetic hand. Oh, what does that mean? It basically means he just has a regular hand that looks like it's made out of shiny parts. You know, it kind of like becomes a non-factor. Or even like robots. I think it's like, oh, it's like, well, they're basically a person, just shiny parts. Like, no, I want this guy to feel designed for a very specific purpose. Nothing. I don't kind of bring. Well, I'm tempted to just arm. Okay. Okay. So. I think I have a decent. I want his face to be a bit. I'm gonna want his face to be more like fine. Like what I. Like thinner. Please. Okay. What I want to do is I want to essentially do a drawing of him as I will when I'm doing. Go ahead and move all the pieces. And we're going to start with the sketch, and then we're actually going to go into. I also do need to think about his weapon spear. There's a shield and a spear. The shield is really simple, very simple. The spear is also very simple, but it's designed basically kill others' life, right? So it needs to be like designed in such a way, like not for flesh and bone, but full cloth. To be fair, a lot of them were designed for metal. Like, okay, so let's go ahead. Let's draw him out as he'll appear. I wanna get familiar. Oh, okay. And I'm gonna have him. That's actually have the skirting cut. Thank you, prototype. I'm actually very excited for this character. Yeah, I think he's going to be really cool to. Could I possibly draw you? Oh. Hmm. Kind of the weird, crazy, gangly kind of look that he. I go bigger on. A little bit. Appreciate it there, Misty. Have yourself a good one. Oh, I didn't. Time for big, ambiguous thunder. Go, big, ambiguous cylinder. Hide the things I don't want to draw. I draw circles today to save my life. Okay, let's. Oops. Second. I'll go thinner on the stove. I will the number of stove though. I know some Spanish, but not enough. Did they? I can almost. Yeah. I was gonna say, I was gonna recognize. Oh wait, now it's saying. Now it's saying. Muchas gracias. Gosh, I haven't practiced Spanish. And if it is Portuguese, I've never, never studied Portuguese. Bonito? One word there that okay. I've been meaning to pick up Spanish again. That I don't hardly any. Kind of gets off to a funny ink. going with it. Not perfect. It's go ahead and render now. What's up, Jeremiah? This side doesn't have the... Oh, but I can show the ball joint. Actually, there isn't a ball. I did not do that. But I... Okay, now let's go ahead and... Hello, Kato. I didn't figure out... Well, no, I did. spear is really long is the thing. It's really I'll be able to draw the tip. It wouldn't be that. And of course. As I become familiar with the shapes, until then, this is gonna. I also need to work on. I have to just do. I think that yeah. Less crowded and. think how this is. Is it Gen largest presence scale? Does it have a function? I'm not entirely sure yet. That's a really good question. I'm thinking it might have a function. I'm not sure if I'm gonna put that in though. Like just a mechanical function, essentially. Like spokes on a something like that. Just the way to think of it. The other kind of factor of it though is in a sense what you're talking about, where it's like a large presence, like rank, right? It's a not even necessarily rank. It's just a like status thing. It also though serves a symbolic function in the design. To kind of where all these characters draw themselves from. But yeah, so not 100% sure whether or not it's going to serve that mechanical function or not yet. It just depends on how the story goes, kind of. It might though. Uh, I like the idea of kind of the double hold over that's going on. I'm gonna see. Actually, I'm not crazy about that hand or that arm, like this pose. I do want to draw the spear. I just thought. Right, we are. Just watched Iron Lung last week and you didn't care for it? I've not seen it, so I don't know. I might need to. Yeah. Okay. That's field is dead simple. It's probably friggin' heavy. Is just metal. Full plate. It's dead simple. Hmm. We won't. Nah, we'll keep it. Need to figure out. And draw the inside. But I think I. I'm not. Okay. That's the basic sketch out of the way. So now what I want to do is kind of the final thing I do. I want to I'm not crazy about the shield. How the crap works. I want to be big with. Keep it simple. Gotta do. Okay, so now do is I can practice a rough pencil.
Appreciate it there, silly. Silly Billy. Doesn't have a name. It's just referred to as the Knight. So that's his name. Oh. Nice thing is the spokes will always be straight. Gonna use line like that.
Oh,
Second Spanish speaker tonight. Maybe I should pick up studying Spanish again. Welcome back. Good to have you. I have to really figure out how I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna have to create reference for it. This isn't a big deal. I'll just need to model it. That's just gonna make it so much easier. And it in space. Tough, you say. You're telling me I'm the one that has to draw it a million times.
for... Well, first I need to be better about posting more often. Of course, I never know where to post. Truth be told, what I want to do is, you know, the website that I have the comic hosted on, I want to turn that into a place to see more of my... more frequently. I gotta be better about, building that. What am I drawing? I'm drawing a character for a comic that I'm working. So I'm going through and I'm doing the inking just to kind of get a feel for it. It's gonna be a lot of work, which is kind of scary because oh boy, am I gonna be drawing this character a lot. Oops. No, we're not. We don't want non-Euclidean geometry. Well, if you check the description, there's a link to what's available, free. Give it a read. You might like it. Three chapters, so a good bit there. That doesn't look right. I'm definitely gonna have to. Have I ever watched Android Gigator? Yes, actually. I caught an episode of it. Wasn't really my thing. I did think that it was interesting that it's been around for a long time. But yes, I'm familiar with the show. Funny. Kind of circumstantially. Hello, JJ. The animation, I mean, yeah. 13 episodes. Is it really that short? I mean, because I know that there was an old... It was an animated series, wasn't it? Or was it only a comic? That's the intention there, Tasmanian. I would love to make like actual comics. But I want the story to be done before I worry about the logistics. All right, catch you later there, JJ. There was a manga? Okay. I mean, I figured there was, but was there an older animated series? I feel like there was. Because I feel like that was one alongside Dororo, which also got remade a few years ago. Which actually, it's not a bad show. The new Dororo. Very bizarre. That's a very strange story, but not bad. Give me a sec here. I gotta think. Oh, surface area. Further out. It's gonna be that size, or ever listened to Gorillaz perchance? Yes, I have actually, and I know they just put out a new like 9-minute music video or something like that. That's fully animated. Looked really cool. I still haven't checked it out though. I'll need to see it at some point. We're gonna do that. So good. Yeah, no, it looked really good. Art looked fantastic. No, I always really like their animated music videos. I think it's really cool because obviously they're animated characters, but I was always really impressed by their use of the merging of like 2D and 3D as well as like actual live action stuff. Pretty cool. Recommend their new album? I'll have to check it out. I haven't listened to their stuff in a little while. I actually really liked the last couple albums, Cracker Island and the Now Now. Now Now has some really good songs on it. I know that one kind of didn't go over super well, but I actually really liked at least a few tracks on it. Song Machine, yeah, I forgot about Song Machine. That one had some alright ones. I remember there's a guy who actually took the storyboards for Rhinestone Eyes and just independently on his own with like I think his wife or something like that, animated the full music video that never got made. If you haven't seen that, if anyone hasn't seen that and they're into gorillas, that's worth checking out. Okay, I should not. Really well done. Yeah, I got into them a few years back. Growing up, you know, I always heard them around, you know, but I was never really into that kind of music growing up. And it's still not my. I'm still not crazy about it, but they have some really solid stuff. They have so much variety as well. Gonna call it guilty. All right, catch you later. Have a good one, man. Thanks for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. Kind of electric stuff. Yeah, no, they do like they experiment a lot around a lot, which is fun. Heck, Cracker Island, Baby Queen. That song has a really unique sound to it. I remember when I came across that, I was like, okay, they did it again, man. A very cool song. I may need to simplify this. Otherwise, just be a little. What am I making? Robot dude. Robot dude with big spear, big shield. Currently just going through and inking it, trying to get a feel for like shapes and stuff like that. Hoping that I can kind of like simplify them down, but like something tells me I'm just gonna have to bite the bullet and like be in it for the long haul with this one. Because like thing to keep in mind is he ain't the only one, right? You know, when you got one robot, you got a lot, and he's not alone. Means, of course, I have to draw other robots like him. A lot of them. Appreciate it, though, Tasmanian. Really appreciate you stopping by. Have a good one. Like poetry, or like pottery having one without the others is weird. Not sure I follow. Like having more robots. Okay, let's do. Thankfully, the legs are pretty
The robot said it? Yeah. Sure how I want to do the symbol, but I think it's important. I'm gonna just kind of put it on his chest for now, kind of like a coat of arms. Arm, but thankfully. Truth be told, I should make this tattered. Legend of Zelda looking enemy. Hey, I'll take the compliment. You do be having that, gonna spawn a chest after you defeat me kind of vibe. Add a skull to the middle emblem. No, the emblem is kind of already established. So, kind of I've already done the 3 chapters of the story, so things are kind of already set in motion. Let's. 100% sure how I want to render the nose mask. I'll figure that out. I think I've gone through a lot. I wasn't expecting to stream for as long as I have. 3 hours now. Let's do the last arm. And then go the I'll have to work on it. Like, I don't even know if he actually, like, carries it with toss it. It won't really serve him anymore. Oh, I was nice and vague with. Hello, Bean. It's a little funky. Also drawing right now? Nice. Always a good thing to do. Gonna need. Okay. Okay, so that's kind of the finish line work. There's a lot of little like blemishes I want to do and junk. Like, let's go ahead and do that real quick on like his armor for. Because like essentially any kind of semblance of like ink that he has, all just non-existent anymore. Been standing out in the elements for a really, really long time. Flex. Okay. Um, Kind of cool. That'll be fighting. Okay. Well, took me 3 hours, but have a finalized design, more or less. There's a couple things I need to kind of figure out, but I'm pretty happy with that. Oh, that's another thing. Yeah. Actually, I don't want to give more the impression that the bots. Yeah, ancient robot dude. I might make it so like he's missing a couple of his feet, something like that. Something like. Just really decayed. I just want to kind of like step him up a bit more. All right, I'm gonna wrap it up here. Thank you guys for stopping by. It was actually a really good stream. Had a good time. So I'll be back sooner than later, hopefully. Hopefully this Thursday. Or fun, but yeah. All that being said, you guys take it easy. Have yourself a good one. And I'll catch you later. See ya.